Hi, I'm Stephanie Burgis, author of The Raven Heir, which is out today from Bloomsbury, and it is so special to me, and it means so much to be here on Book Trust Cymru, because this book was directly inspired by the mountains, the woods, and the castles all around me where I live in Abergavenny. I moved here 12 years ago. I've raised my children here, and I hope to live here for the rest of my life. And all of my love for Wales and the gorgeous, powerful Welsh landscape is all encompassed in the magic of this book, where the land itself has a heart and a power that my heroine is going to have to find a way to connect to. And The Raven Heir is a fantasy adventure about three triplets who have been raised in an enchanted forest and who find out one day when soldiers invade that everything they thought they knew about their family and the world beyond the forest is all wrong. They're going to have to quest beyond the forest, across a broken kingdom, to the top of a legendary mountain to find out who they really are, save their family, and one of them is going to have to become the next king or queen, but none of them knows which one it is. Now, I'm just going to read you a little bit from chapter 1. Chapter 1. Beyond the castle's moat, the deep, dark forest was shot through with trails of sunlight, tracing golden paths of possibility. Robins sang from hidden branches, while swifts dived and darted over the sun-dappled water. They were all wild with the first taste of summer. And so was the dark-haired girl who sat, bare feet dangling against stone, on the windowsill of her tower bedroom, watching them fly. Inside the castle, her mother and her older brother, Connell, were busy in the herbarium as usual, casting stinking enchantments to protect their home against the world. Cordelia's triplet sister, Rosalind, was loudly bashing mock enemies in the first inner courtyard, using the latest long stick that she'd adopted as a sword. Their triplet brother Giles strummed a lute soulfully in the tower bedroom high above, windows left open to spread his endless wailing song through the warm air. But outside the castle, the birds were free, and so could Cordelia be, if only— No. Catching herself leaning forward, she forced herself to stop before wings could sprout from her back. She couldn't turn bird and fly out into the sunshine, not today. She'd promised Mother never to do it again without Connell's supervision, even though that was a ridiculous rule. It meant only going out once or twice a week when she wanted to fly free every day. They lived all alone in the center of an enchanted forest. Who could possibly hurt her among the trees? And why would they want to? But those are questions that Mother would never answer, like everything else about their family's past. And the last time Cordelia had given in to temptation and flown free on her own for one delicious stolen afternoon, Mother had cast a cloud of dark smoke to wrap tightly around her window for a week in punishment. So Cordelia only sighed and tipped her head back now to soak in the gorgeous warmth of the sunshine on her face and the vast familiar murmuring of the deep forest around her, until harsh voices called out suddenly in the distance. She jerked upright, eyes flying open. No animals in the forest made sounds like that. 16-year-old Connell's voice was the closest she could think of, but even his wasn't nearly so deep. "Mother?" she whispered. If her mother had been paying attention, she would have heard that whisper through the tug of connection that she'd laid upon all of her children. Spell-casting must have taken all her focus, though, for Cordelia still sat, uncertain and unanswered, on her windowsill a minute later when the first grown men she'd ever seen burst through the trees into the narrow clearing beyond the moat, wearing armor that clanked and flashed in the sunlight. There! The first one strode forward, as big and hulking himself as the raging bear painted on his shield. A great black beard jutted out from beneath his iron helmet. The sorceress's castle, and no dragons guarding the gate after all. None that we've seen yet. The man who answered was lean and poised, like the wolf who snarled on his own shield, and he looked every bit as ready to spring. His head turned, predatory gaze sweeping the clearing. We may have slipped past her outer shields with our ploy, but that's no guarantee of our safety from now on. Cordelia held her breath, unmoving on her perch, as more and more armored men and women flooded out of the trees behind the first two. Each of them carried a shield with a wolf or a bear in one hand and a long, sharp-looking sword in the other, and they took up position behind their two leaders. Too late to change into a bird for safety now. And you'll find out what happens next if you get the book. I am so happy to have gotten to talk to you here. Have a wonderful month. Bye.